Hi there. Today we are going to do am, is, and are. Now, you hear these words all the time. Well, today I'm going to show you how we use them, what words they go with, and I'm going to show you how to make it positive, saying yes, and negative, no. So let's get started, and hope you enjoy it. Alright, so today we're doing am, is, and are. So let's talk about Lisa, who's down here. And with Lisa, she's saying different things. Oops, a daisy. Boom. She's saying different things. So she have, I'm 22, my name is Lisa, I'm from Chicago. My favorite sports are tennis and swimming. In there, you can see am, is, and are. Sometimes they're not written the same way. Sometimes they're written differently. And on the next couple slides, I'm going to show you how they're written. They can be done in two different ways. So let's go find out. Alright. So the first way I want to show you is the positive way. Well, we're going to start out with the positive way. So it's positive, so we're talking about yes. And if you remember, we're learning am, is, and are. So am, is, and are are going to go right in here someplace. Let's do the first one. I, and how we write it is I am. For he, she, and it is. And we, you, they are. So I am, he is, she is, it is, we are, you are, they are. And this is what we call long. It's big. In English, it takes too long to say. So we need to make things smaller. A lot of times in English, you're never going to hear it like this. Instead, we make everything smaller. It's easier. I'll show you the easier way, and in that way, you can hear how other English speakers speak, and then you can speak the same way. Let's try it out. So I am becomes I'm. What we did was we took that A and we said delete. For he, she, it becomes he's, she's, and its. Once again, we took that I, got rid of it. For we, you, they, are, we do we're, your, or your, and their. And there we deleted the A. So let me say these for you so that you can hear them well. While the long form is I am, the short form becomes I'm. For he is, she is, it becomes he's, she's, its. For we are, you are, they are, it becomes we're, your, and their. It sounds like the other theirs you might hear in English, and that's another day. So let's go check out, now this is just the positives, let's go check out how to make the no's, the negatives. Alright, here we go. We have the negative here, and that means no. How do we tell other English speakers that we mean no? By using am, is, and are. It's not too bad, but I'll show you how to do it. Let's do the long way first. I'll write long down here so you remember. This is a long way. And for this, how do we make the positive? Let's think about that. Well, we do I am. How do we use no, though? And a lot of times when we want to mean negative or no in English when we make a sentence, we write not. So I am not. Let's apply that to the other things that you see down here. You have he, she, it. What's the positive again? Is. So what do we do to make it negative? Not. And we, you, they. What do we do? It's are. And how do you make it negative? Not. Now that's the long way. I am not, he is not, she is not, it is not, we are not, you are not, they are not. But we need the short form, because that's what a lot of English speakers use. For that, here we go. You remember the short form for positive, that's I'm. So guess what the short form is for negative? I'm not. Let's apply that down here for the next section. He is not becomes he's not. She is not becomes she's not. And it is not becomes it's not. For we, you, and they are not becomes we're not. You're not. And they're not. It looks just like the positive over here. I only add not. But there's two ways of making it no in the past tense. I'm going to show you the other way. I mean, no in the present tense. I apologize. With am, is, and are. That. Let's continue. So you can have he's not or he isn't. You can have she's not or she isn't. And you can have it's not or it isn't. You can have you're not, they're not, or you can have we aren't. You aren't. And they aren't. So I'm going to say these for you so that you can hear them all clearly. I'll do the long ways and the short ways. Long way. I am not. I'm not. He is not. He's not. Or he isn't. She is not. She's not. Or she isn't. It is not. It's not. Or it isn't. We are not. We're not. Or we aren't. You are not. You're not. Or you aren't. And finally, they are not. And in the short form, that becomes they're not. Or they aren't. Let's do some examples on the next slide. Here's the directions right here. Let's do some examples together. Insert the correct form below. You have I blank cold. Can you close the window, please? What's the positive tense of that? Positive, am, is, and are. For that, you can write I am, or you can write, I'll write it over here, I'm. And a lot of times in English, you'll hear I'm cold, not I am cold. Here's the next part. Steve blank sick. He blank in bed. We'll do this a little bit more together now. What is Steve? What subject is that? Is that I, you, he, she, it, we, or they? You should be thinking that Steve is a he. He is sick, and if it's a he, is in bed. Now, how can we make that smaller? Sure, there's two ways to write it, Mr. Conley. Let's do it right now. You can do Steve's. If you remember how we wrote heaves, you can do that with English too. With Steve. Steve's sick, and it's he's in bed. You need to write it like that. That's how the short form looks like. And that's how you do it with a name. I didn't teach you that, but you can do it. Let's do the next part. It blank 10 o'clock. You blank late again for class. Let's see. You do it a little bit more this time on your own. For it, you should be thinking it is. For this part, I'm going to write it's. 10 o'clock. You blank late again for class. Now, a lot of times in English, you're going to hear your. That's Y''re, late again for class. All right, next one. Jane blank a teacher. She blank a student. Now, this one you're going to have a positive and a negative. Or you could have a negative and a positive. Let's do it this way. Let's say Jane blank a teacher, and that's a positive. So, you can have Jane am, is, or are. You should be thinking is. Or you can say Jane, or you can say Jane's a teacher. And now if she's a teacher, can she be a student? So you can say she's not a student. Or you can say isn't. Let's do the next one now. Those people blank Somali, they blank Sudanese. For this example, let's do the first one negative, so no and yes. Before that, we need to think people. With the word people, it's a little tricky. Is it am, is, or are? Those people are. So if I want to make this negative, you can write. Well, for this one, you need to write are not or aren't. I'm going to write aren't. So those people aren't Somali. They, and then we need to make this one positive. Is it am, is, or are? You should be thinking that people is they, so they are Sudanese. And finally, let's do the last one. I blank tired, but I blank hungry. So for this one, let's say negative and positive. Or you know what? Let's make this positive and this one negative. I, is it am, is, or are? You should be thinking positive, so I'm tired. Now how can we make this negative here? You should know that it's going to be I'm not. There we go. So the sentence reads, I'm tired, but I'm not hungry. Well, I hope you learned how to use am, is, and are. Positive, and negative, so yes and no. There's a whole lot of times where you use am, is, and are, and you even use them in other tenses too. So this is really important that you understand this now. So, see you next time.